Tuesday, August 7, 2018 public board meeting of the Greater Dayton RTA Board of Trustees is hereby called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The vision of RTA is to be a premier public transportation provider that connects people and communities. Our mission is to provide great value, dependable service, and to be responsive, timely, and accountable for all that we do. Our motto, it's time to ride. Would you call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Hurd?
Here.
Ms. Hairston? Mr. Corrado?
Here.
Mr. Hoagie?
Here.
Ms. Howard?
Present.
Mr. Lumpkin? Ms. Matthew Stinson?
Present.
Mr. Weckeser?
Here.
Mr. Williamson?
Here.
Thank you.
We do have a quorum. We can conduct business. Next is the approval of the consent agenda. I would like to make one change. I would like to change the order of the committee reports and move Planning Committee ahead of the Finance and Personnel Committee reports. Those are the only changes I have. Is there going to be a need for an executive session today? Okay, then we will also eliminate item 12. Are there any other adjustments to the agenda? Okay. Is there a motion to approve it?
So moved. I'll second that.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second to approve the agenda as adjusted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The agenda has been accepted. Next, we have the approval of the June 5th, 2018 board meeting minutes. The minutes of this date were presented for review to all board members prior to today's meeting. Unless there is any board member who requests a reading of the minutes, I will ask if there are any corrections or additions to the minutes as presented. Having heard no request for reading of the minutes, nor any corrections or additions, the minutes stand approved as presented. And now we will have our committee reports, beginning with the Planning Committee.
Good afternoon. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met for a jointly held meeting on July 17th, and as a result, the Planning Committee is recommending 2 action items for the board's consideration. Action item number 6, Mobility on Demand Pilot Program. The purpose of this action item is for the RTA to pilot a new business model for ADA, complementary, and countywide Kinect paratransit services, as well as other specialized transportation services currently offered. The objective of this new business model will be to provide to RTA-eligible customers same-day, on-demand services. This action item aligns with RTA's core values of quality service and stewardship and moves RTA towards the goal of becoming the region's mobility manager. Mr. Donahue provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Mr. Polachicchio is available to answer any questions you may have. Based upon the recommendation of the Planning Committee, I move to authorize RTA's Chief Executive Officer to execute this new service delivery model beginning in September of 2018. The goal of the 3-year pilot program will be to test and determine long-term feasibility of this business model, which can lead to one seamless integrated network of services that enhances the customer experience for all.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that we authorize RTA's Chief Executive Officer to execute this new service delivery model beginning September 2018. The goal of the three-year pilot program is to test and determine long-term feasibility of this business model, which can lead to one seamless integrated network of services that enhance the customer experience for all. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have approved the Mobility on Demand pilot program.
Action item number 7, amendment, RTA Kinect Mobility Partnership Pilot Program. The purpose of this action item is to expand and increase accessibility to underserved populations within RTA's service area. In order to meet this goal, we are recommending amendments to the Kinect Mobility Partnership Pilot Program that was approved in April 2017. Amendments include changes to the program structure and extension of the program for an additional year. Mr. Donahue provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Mr. Polachicchio is available to answer any questions you may have. Based upon the recommendation of the Planning Committee, I move to approve the amendments and one-year extension of the RTA Kinect Mobility Partnership Pilot Program.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been properly moved and second that we approve the amendments to the Mobility Partnership Pilot Program and the one-year extension. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The policy has been amended and extended for 1 year. Planning Committee report.
Yes. In addition, at the committee meeting, Mr. Donahue provided a summary document of recent activities in the Customer and Business Development Department. Updates included information on the June 29th What Drives You campaign kickoff that occurred during the RTA experience on Courthouse Square. On June 7th, the Bus History Association, consisting of more than 60 bus enthusiasts, descended upon Dayton for a tour of RTA facilities, bus system, and to learn about the electric trolley buses. The Bus History Association is an international group with members from across the U.S. and Canada. Each visitor received some RTA keepsake, and the tour commenced on RTA's vintage 110 GM body trolley. This concludes my report, Madam President, and Mr. Polachicchio or I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. I don't think we have any questions at this time. Let's move on to the Finance and Personnel Committee report, which will be presented by Mr. Hoagie.
Thank you, Madam President. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met for a jointly held meeting on July 17th. And as a result of the Finance Personnel Committee is recommending 4 action items for the board's consideration. Action item number 2, GenFare ticket vending machines upgrade. The Greater Dayton RTA currently has an automated fare collection system, including 6 ticket vending machines made by GenFare. The TVMs accept credit cards, and the PIN pad used in the machine is no longer manufactured and requires an upgrade to ensure serviceability. The new PIN pad includes Europay, MasterCard, and Visa credit cards functionality. Upgrading the TVMs is necessary to provide the level of quality service to which RTA riders have become accustomed. Dr. Darren Brown presented the action item at the committee meeting, and associate details are included in today's board packages. Staff is available to answer any question the board may have at this time. Based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move to award a contract to GenFare, a division of XPX Corporation, in the total amount of $44,003 for the upgrade of 6 ticket vending machines. This procurement will be funded with 100% operating funds.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and second that we award a contract to GenFare for $44,003 for the Gen Fair ticket vending machine upgrade. Are there any questions? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will be making award to Gen Fair. At this time, we'll move on to action item number 3. Mr. Lumpkin?
My apologies. Duty calls at work, so I apologize for my tardiness. But action item number 3, American Public Transportation Association annual dues. The American Public Transportation Association mission is to strengthen and improve public transportation and represent transit's interests in Washington, D.C. before Congress and the administration. APTA and its members and staff work to ensure that public transportation is obtainable for Americans throughout the country. This expenditure is consistent with RTA's core values of stewardship as we manage our talent efficiently and responsibly. RTA maintains membership in APTA to use many of their programs, activities, and services. There are opportunities for unlimited networking, professional development opportunities, workshops, and seminars. One of the long-term benefits of APTA is the opportunity to shape long-term industry policy and legislation on transportation issues. Ms. Stanforth presented the action item at our committee meeting, and the associated details are included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the American Public Transportation Association's 2018-2019 dues in the amount of $39,250. This procurement will be funded with 100% operating funds.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we approve the American Public Transportation Association dues in the amount of $39,250. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will be paying our annual dues to the American Public Transportation Association.
Action item number 4, capital assistance grants. 49 United States Code 5307 authorizes grants to public transit systems in urbanized areas for capital, operating, and planning assistance based on formulas used in the statute. 49 United States Code 5337 and 5339 authorizes grants to public transit systems in urbanized areas for capital assistance to support and maintain fixed guideway assets and other capital assets in the state of good repair. The Greater Dayton RTA can use this funding for the purchase of electric trolley buses, modernization of trolley infrastructure, and capitalization of maintenance costs and other supporting facilities and equipment projects, as well as to maintain capital assets in a state of good repair. These funds are based on formulas used in the statute. Resolution number 2018-8-1 provides authorization to file fiscal year 2018 U.S. Code 5307, 5337, and 5339 capital assistance grants. The 2018 program of project is consistent with the RTA's capital plan. The total federal funding required for these projects is $29,256,583. Mr. Rosinski presented an action item at our committee meeting, and the associated details are in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the committee, I move to approve Resolution 2018-8-1, authorizing the filing of 49 United States Code 5307, 5337, and 5339 capital grant applications for RTA's fiscal year 2018 program of projects. The applications are filed with the Federal Transit Administration. The motion will also authorize the Chief Executive Officer to provide all necessary documents, execute a grant contract, amend the grant contract if deemed necessary, and fulfill all other requirements of the grant application.
Was there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been properly moved and second that we approve resolution number 2018-8-1 for capital grant applications and everything that is therefore connected with capital grant applications. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 2018-8-1 has been approved.
Action item number 5, leasing and servicing of radial tires. This procurement is for leasing and servicing of radial tires on Greater Dayton RTA revenue vehicles for 5 base years and 3 option years. The successful bidder is required to provide RTA with all the necessary tires, equip the fleet, maintain the tires according to the manufacturer's specifications, and service the tires accordingly. This procurement is consistent with the RTA's core values of stewardship and safety. Mr. Brown presented the action item at the committee meeting, and all the associated details are included in today's board package. Staff's available for any questions that the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the committee, I move to award a contract to Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company for $2,806,493 for the 5-year base with a 3-year option. Years at an estimated 1.9, or I can't use 1.9, $1,947,786 for a total of $4,754,279 plus an additional 5% contingency, or $237,714 for additional tires that may be needed for revenue vehicles purchased or additional service needed during the contract period. In addition, the motion includes a total estimated runout cost of $463,419 for an estimated grand total contract award of $5,455,412. The award is subject to approval by the Federal Transit Administration of the Tire Lease Program versus the Tire Purchase Program. The procurement will be funded 80% through federal grant funds.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that we award a contract to Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company for leasing and servicing of radial tires in the total amount of $5,455,412. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will be awarding a contract to Goodyear Tire and Rubber. Do you have a report?
Yes, Madam Chair. Ms. Danforth reported on April 2018 sales tax receipts. They equal $3,059,755, which is 4.5% or $143,000 lower than the April 2018 budget. Year-to-date, April 2018 sales tax receipts equals $11,954,012, which is 2% or $244,000 lower than year-to-date April 2018 budget. Results are tracking very close to budget year-to-date. However, staff is concerned about the downward trend. Staff will continue to monitor and report on the sales tax on a regular basis. That was in April. The June 2018 financial statements, Ms. Danforth reported that in the month of June 2018, RTA's net income after local depreciation is $221,510 compared to a budgeted net income of $360,094. On a positive side, the operating revenues were $24,000 above budget. However, operating expenses excluding depreciation were $87,000 over budget. Local depreciation expenses was $13,000 over budget, and non-operating revenues were $63,000 under budget. RTA's June year-to-date net loss after local depreciation is $230,760 compared to a year-to-date budgeted net gain of $155,344. On a positive side, the operating revenues were $96,000 above budget. However, the operating expenses, excluding depreciation, were $89,000 over budget, and non-operating revenues were $395,000 under budget. The details and variance explanations associated with the financial statements are included in the packet today, and that concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Lumpkin, and thank you, Mr. Hoagie, for handling action item 2. Okay.
Appreciate that. Way to step in. Don't leave me hanging. All right.
Chief Executive Officer's report. Mark?
Thank you, Madam President. Just some informational items. You know, the visitors we had from the international group, these people didn't make it known, but we had some high-ranking officials from New York City Metropolitan Transit Authority. I mean, two of the very high vice president level people in that organization, and one from the Toronto Transit Commission. So these are folks that are committed to the industry, obviously. Also wanted to mention, Sharon talked about and had the action items for the changes we want to make in our Kinect program. Sally, Brandon, and I spent most of the morning in Lebanon at a meeting with the State Department of Medicaid, including the deputy director who was there, who her staff has been in this facility before talking to us. And that was one of the issues that I heard a couple of times in the discussion was the problems with people who are Medicaid eligible who may need something same day, and nobody wants to do that. And what we're trying to do is create this seamless opportunity for our community to say, if you need a ride, we're going to do our best to get you there, even if it's on the same day. So that's exactly the kind of thing we're targeting with this change in our Kinect program, and I think it's going to bode well for us in the future. A few weeks back, a number of us attended the Ohio Association of Regional Councils event in Columbus. They hosted our two gubernatorial candidates for an interesting day. It was a day-long session. They kept them separated. There wasn't a fight or a debate. And interestingly, really because it was the Regional Councils Association, they were forced to ask questions about important things like public transportation. Both spoke very positively, and obviously, since that time, one has mentioned the idea of some dedicated funding for public transit. Obviously, that's something we've been looking for years, but we're continuing, obviously, to work in that way, and we've reached out to both candidates' legislative directors through our state association, and we're meeting in the coming weeks with some of our friends from the other modes of transportation, including the highway builders, to try and strengthen those relationships that we already have, and work hard to work with the new administration to get something going if we can get that done. So very important items that we're taking care of. One just last informational item for you is, well, there's two, but we did have a recent meeting. Keepy Electric was in town, so, you know, our next gen project continues to move. We made some progress in the meeting to get some details ironed out. You know, by the end of the year, the first of the production buses will come off the line in Gillig, and then in early 2018, we'll be looking to get that first one on the street, move that project forward, which is absolutely a necessity. The last item is, in case you missed it last Saturday, if you were thinking there's something going on and I just don't know what it is, it was electric transit in Dayton's 130th birthday, and I know that everybody, you know, is excited about that. It was actually our 151st birthday, more likely, but we've been electric continuously in this city, more than any other in the United States, you know, since 1888. So it was a kind of a banner year. I don't know how the rest of you celebrated, but of course I did. I know Bob Brzezinski did, because I know he's into those sorts of things. But I just wanted to highlight that. You know, we've got a long, proud tradition here. We're kind of taking it to the next level by leveraging the assets that the community invested in 130 years ago, and we've never turned the switch off. Now we're working to leverage those assets to carry us another 50 years into the future, and I think you know, we're going to see that with Next Gen and some of our other projects. With that, unless there's questions, I have nothing else to report.
Any questions? Okay. I'm not aware of any old business at this point in time. So we'll move on to new business, and you should have at your places new business item number 1. The RTA Alcohol and Substance Abuse Policy Update. RTA has concluded a routine audit by the Federal Transit Administration of our program this week with an on-site visit by their contractor. During the visit, the contractor recommended a number of changes to our policy document to address the latest FTA best practice recommendations, which would require board approval. The attached document is the draft that includes the proposed changes, which appear in red, blue, or green font color on all pages, except page 2 and page 11. For reference, the red and blue changes were recommended by the contractor for FTA. and the green are our staff recommendations to incorporate the RTA discipline policy related to this policy into the policy. FDA defers disciplinary policies to the local agency and does not get involved in their development. This policy update supports our core values of safety, stewardship, and our people, as it will incorporate best practices in our efforts to maintain a substance-free environment for our customers and employees. The Chief Executive Officer recommends approval of this policy update. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we update our alcohol and substance abuse policy. Are there any questions or comments?
Mark, who has, within the RTA, reviewed this policy with all of the changes?
Myself, Chris Cole, and Bob Stevens, who is the person who manages our drug and alcohol testing program. And if I could just say, I appreciate the board taking this up as a new business item. These audits are infrequent of this program, but when they come in, they're extremely detailed. A number of months of initial feeding of the contractor who does the audit information, and then they literally come in, they do certain tests that they're required to do to make sure we're following the program. I will admit to you that the last time we did this a number of years ago, we didn't fare too well. They caught some things that, we should have caught sooner. The audit said this year we did a lot better. Most of what's been recommended are just best practice changes. But I can tell you, in the grand scheme of things, when they make a recommendation like that, but they do appreciate that. And I did get the sense from the contractor themselves that this was one of the better audits that they've done this year. So that was a good sign that the changes that have been made in that program here were done.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will be updating the alcohol and substance abuse policy to comply with what was presented to us today. Next on the agenda is public comment. Each citizen wishing to make public comment to the board during regularly scheduled board or committee meeting must register prior to the meeting being called to order by completing the public comment registration form. I have received 2. Any materials intended for distribution to the board must be delivered to the secretary prior to the meeting being called to order. The secretary will deliver all registration forms and materials for distribution. During the public comment section, the president will recognize each citizen who has completed a registration form. Only the citizen who has completed and whose name appears on the public comment registration form may address the board. A citizen may not yield or defer his or her time to another citizen and may only speak on their own behalf. When called upon to speak, each citizen shall approach the podium and state his or her name and address. If a citizen is physically unable to approach the podium, the citizen may request the use of a handheld microphone. Who has it today? Okay, it's over there. Each citizen making comment is limited to 3 minutes. We have a light. When your time starts, it'll go green. When you have 30 seconds, it'll go to yellow. And when it goes to red, you are asked to please leave the podium or surrender the handheld microphone. You are permitted to address the board only once during any regular scheduled board meeting, and you must maintain civility, should be courteous and professional. Okay. So with that, we have 2 requests. First is caller Pitzinger, who her topic is the bus stop for the Women's Family Shelter.
want me to
Name and
give my
address.
name and address? My name's Carla Pitzinger, 3329 Shady View Road, Moraine, Ohio. Here, good afternoon. I'm here to just sort of update that I still would like to know why we can't have the shelter, which I've been staying at over a year. And I called up Mr. Hoff last month, and he said previously that we could have a bus stop closer next to the donation center. So I said, oh, well, Mr. Brian Fairling, the director, denied permission to have one at the entrance. And previously, it was the driveway was too tight. It was less than 40 feet. So I said, I was calling to see if you could have one then just, at the next to the donation center. And he said, no, the experts and the driver said it's just fine where it's at. But he also mentioned, Brian, that I was the only one complaining, and that he did not receive the names of the petition I had last March here. And so I have that now, but I wanted you to know I have several current names of the shelter of the folks there if you guys want a copy. Here, over 50, including families. When the weather's hot, when it's raining, here it's up on a high incline. It's impossible for some people, the ones in wheelchairs and walkers, to go to the bus stop and even get out. This breaks my heart. I know one lady, to give you an idea, she's over 75 years old. She's been there over a year. She's only been to the clinic where there's a van that picks you up 4 times. And she's been to the Miami Valley Hospital 4 times. And she was there, she came last May, over a year ago. She's too scared. She doesn't know Dayton. And I would just love to get her on a bus and show her around here, Dayton, and not be scared here. So I'm seeing if anyone could come over there and talk to a lot of the seniors and guests there, especially that don't know the area, and teach them that, hey, the bus it's nice to be able to go on a bus and see Dayton, see where you might want to even live here. Anyway, I am an advocate with the Access Center for independent living, and like I said, please go there. It is very difficult, so yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have Ellis Hutchinson, and 2 topics, regulation policy and a community movie.
My name is Ellis Hutchinson. I live at 211 South Wilkerson, Dayton, Ohio, 45402. I guess I'll deal with my commercial first. I'm working with another group of people here in the city, and I think you have a copy of the flyer. We're going to be showing the movie The Black Panther really near the Culture Center on Edwin Moses. It's kind of a hard place to get to, but if you know where the Culture Center is on Edwin Moses, near the Casano Health Clinic, we're right in the back of there. It's the park is called Oak and Ivory Park. It's named after one of Tall Lawrence Dunbar's poems. It's in the Dunbar district. The movie is free and open to the total public, and the program's going to start at 7:30. The movie probably won't start, well, we'll start it as close to dark as we can get, because we're probably going to be there quite a while. The movie is an hour and 37 minutes, I think, or so. And so we're wanting to invite you to that. And like I said, we're going to be doing that August the 10th, this coming Friday. We'll start at 7:30, and the movie will start as close to dark as possible. And you're invited. I It's been a long time since I've been here, and these are pretty much all new faces. I think I was coming back in 2000s. Only person that I think was here was Mr. Hogue and Mr. Donahue. I've always hoped that maybe you would adopt the policy that the Dayton City Commission had. They have a meeting in the morning and a meeting in the evening, which I think gives people in the community, other people in the community to participate. People that work first shift, second shift, they could hardly ever make it here. One of the policies that I'm really concerned about is how there's people who have the walkers and the baby carriages, and sometimes you can't get on the bus for all that traffic. You know, I'm not suggesting that you put them off the bus or anything, but maybe the bus drivers could manage that a little bit better where everybody can get on. I'm not one of the oldest persons in the world, but I can't walk to the back of the bus anymore. So if the front seats are not open, I have to stand up. And then I was wondering what the policy is on animals now. I've seen cats, dogs, everything on the bus. And some of them I think are safety animals, or I forget the proper term for that. And then some of them I think are just people's animals. And I love animals, but I'm not sure that's the proper venue on the bus with, I said, dogs, cats, and other assorted animals. I'm very pleased with the service for the most part. I appreciate some of the things that you've done recently. Thank you.
Just a quick comment. The night of the movie, Alice, our transportation supervisors are going to be aware. I shared the information the other day with our folks, so they'll make sure they watch the neighborhood to make sure people who came by bus, you know, we'll make sure they get accommodated and get home the night of the movie. So we'll take care of that. On the animals, there's no question there's been a spike in what people are suggesting are service animals on our buses, and that's become an issue that we've had to be very careful about, that we have very specific rules we have to follow in regard to service animals. But it is something we've been looking at because it's definitely increased, probably 20, 30-fold in the last couple of years. And we've had a couple of instances where it was certainly not a service animal, and we were able to take care of that. But it's one of the things we do look at pretty closely, because obviously on a crowded bus, that becomes another issue.
Okay. And on the subject of the timing of the meetings, we do hold two meetings. The general committee meetings, where all of our recommendations come out of, are held at 8:30 in the morning. And then the meeting where we vote on all of the things that we discussed is held at 3 o'clock. So we do have a morning meeting and an afternoon meeting.
Well, I was thinking about their evening meetings at 3 o'clock.
Well, this is our evening meeting at 3 o'clock. Okay. Okay.
Not real convenient for working people.
Okay. Well, thank you for your comments. I'll give these to Mark. Board member comments and announcements. Let's start down at this end.
The only comment I have, some of you know I had the pleasure of traveling in China for the past 3 weeks and got a good close look at public transportation. And I want to tell Brandon, who's hustling back to his chair, everything is QR code. Everything. So I know we just upgraded our tickets, but everybody just gets on, that's it. So I sure would love to see that future, or us start moving toward that future at some point soon.
Thank you.
Again, my apologies for being tardy. The good news is I did not take the bus because the bus was on time.
I have no comments, Madam President.
Thank you. I have no comments.
No comments.
No comment.
I just wanted, we have had a lot of festivals the last few weeks, the Celtic Festival, the German Festival, and every time I see a commercial about it, it talks about how the RTA is supporting it with shuttle rides. So I just want to thank the staff for making sure that people who want to get to some of this free outdoor fun are able to get there.
Any other comments from the board? Okay. Now, I do have a question. Are we having a presentation today after the meeting?
Today?
That
no.
look says no.
Well, there was to be just a conversation with a few of us about,
Okay, but it's not a full board?
oh, no, no, no.
Okay. So, you see the suggested meeting dates are listed. If there's no further action to come before the full board, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that we adjourn. I don't expect to have anyone say no, but all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all those opposed? Okay. Meeting adjourned.